What is happening, everybody? On this Tuesday, March 1st, April Fool's Day. I hope you all have fun at work, breaking your colleagues' chops. Practical jokes. You will never get grief from me about a good April Fool's Day joke. But what is not a joke is right now we are going to throw it to the State Department, where First Lady Melania Trump will be speaking and handing out awards for the International Women of Courage Awards ceremony, guys. Make sure you keep it locked right in here. Rumble.com/LFATV. We are going to throw it to the State Department. Here's the First Lady.
Live free from violence.
Experience as a child marriage survivor motivated me to start up the organization so that I can be able to tackle issues of early marriage within my community and South Sudan at large. WOJE has empowered more than 15,000 survivors in the community.
أعمل في مجال المختطفين والمخفيين قسرا والمعتقلين تعسفا. نعمل مع الأمهات وبنات الرابطة ونساء المختطفين من أجل الإفراج عن أبنائهم والسلام دائما يبدأ من قلوب الأمهات.
Every person with disabilities deserves fair treatment. This is my life work and the mission of my organization. The work continues, but we are confident we have tools. Change is possible.
La question des droits humains est très problématique parce que mal compris, j'ai des motifs de satisfaction quand je réussis à convaincre les autorités à défendre un défenseur des droits humains. Et aussi, quand des personnes braquées contre les droits humains me disent « Madame, à l'issue de votre sensibilisation, j'ai compris, je m'engage à sensibiliser ma communauté. »
On October 7th, I was taken hostage by Hamas terrorists. I survived 55 days in captivity. Upon my release, I vowed to tell my story because keeping it inside would destroy me. Courage for me means standing up for what you believe in. It means being true to your values and choosing hope and love even when faced with darkness.
I'm a journalist, and that's how I want people to see myself. And that's how I've made people see myself. The corruption story is unfortunately not going to end. And the impact I want to have is not to change governments. I want systems to change. I want laws to be put in place. I want institutions to be strengthened so that people are not able to abuse them. And that is what we have, as investigative journalists, always fought for. And that's what I will keep fighting for.
Conserving Tubataha is ensuring the food security of the country. As a marine protected area, we have become a model for other marine protected areas. We have brought pride to the country, and we have contributed to the global conservation goals. For me, courage means making a decision, making one's choices despite the uncertainties.
I think you can see the clear courage amongst all these incredible women. Now, it is my distinct honor to introduce, from the great state of Florida, like myself, our Secretary of State, Marco Rubio. Go Gators! Secretary Rubio has been a long, dedicated champion for women and girls around the world. As a U.S. Senator, he worked tirelessly to advance policies that strengthen women's roles in peace and security efforts, recognize their critical contributions to global security and American strength. He also worked to ensure that girls, particularly in conflict zones, have access to education. He played pivotal roles in making sure their efforts to end violence and human trafficking, striving to create safer environments for women and girls around the world. As a father of daughters, I know his passion for these issues is also deeply personal, driving his commitment to a future where all women and girls have the opportunity to lead, succeed, and thrive. Mr. Secretary, over to you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much for all of you for being here. Madam First Lady, thank you for joining us. We're so honored you would be here today with us at the State Department. All of our award recipients, you'll hear about them more in a moment. You saw that video, very moving, very touching. We'll learn more about them. All of my colleagues and distinguished guests. A special recognition for the members of our cabinet who are here today. Why don't you guys stand up so we can recognize you? Our Attorney General, the Secretary of Small Business, of Education, and of Labor. And we're missing Tulsi Gabbard because she's probably spying somewhere right now. So she's busy. But thank you for being here and joining us on this. And good afternoon and welcome to the State Department. This is a beautiful room. We don't use it often enough. But this is an appropriate setting in which to use it. And we're so grateful to be honoring this year's International Women of Courage awardees. This has been going on since 2007, when one of my predecessors, Secretary Condoleezza Rice, instituted this award. And since then, I've recognized over 200 women for their work promoting peace and prosperity and human rights in communities and in countries across the world. And what we recognize here more than that is not just their work, but the fact that they do so oftentimes at extraordinary risk to themselves, to their families, to their loved ones. Not just important work, but work that took courage. And that's why we recognize 8 women with the International Women of Courage Award here today. I'd briefly like to honor a leader. You saw her a moment ago, Katrina Fotovat. Did I say that right? Katrina, we call her Kat. Okay, there. And she's done a great job. Without you and your team putting this together, it would not have been possible. Thank you. I want to also personally thank the woman of courage who lives in my home, my wife, Jeanette, who rarely gets to join us. But, and I say that relatively speaking because, courage is, there are challenges with 3 kids under 22 years of age or 23, as you know, especially a 17-year-old that's still in high school, and they had the world figured out. Anyway, thank you, because without her, I would not be able to do this. So we thank you very much and for being here today. At the State Department, and under President Trump, we try to take every opportunity to defend and to promote women and girls across the world. During his first term, President Trump made women's economic opportunity an imperative. He established the Women's Global Development and Prosperity Initiative, which to date has reached over 12 million women worldwide. At home, during his first term, female unemployment reached the lowest level in 50 years. President Trump also signed the Women, Peace, and Security Act, a bill that I was very proud to have been a co-sponsor of when I was in the Senate. And it was the first comprehensive law passed in any country in the world, first law passed by any country anywhere in the world, focused on protecting women and promoting their participation in society. President Trump is also working now to fulfill his promise to end a brutal war that's going on in Europe as well as in the Middle East. Wars that aren't just costing the lives of soldiers and civilians, but where women in these wars, in these conflicts, as you will hear somewhat today, are kidnapped and they're assaulted, they're displaced, they're killed, their families are in danger. And one of our honorees today knows that too well, because on 7th October of 2023, Amit Susana was abducted from her home by Hamas. And upon her release, she shared details of the sexual violence she endured as a hostage, which allowed medical professionals to document the atrocities that she suffered. And this was at a time when people were denying that these atrocities were being committed, and even blaming Israel for Hamas's brutality. Her bravery, her advocacy brings much needed attention to the scourge of sexual violence and conflicts all over the world. Even as I speak to you now, there is sexual violence going on somewhere in the world in these various conflicts. It is a scourge. There is so much more to be said about the accomplishments and the courage and the leadership of each of these great women. And let me reaffirm the importance of protecting women and girls and promoting their well-being are American goals. But they also happen to be a strong goal of our president, President Donald Trump. So to our honorees, congratulations and thank you for your work to create a safer and more secure and just world. In a moment, it'll be my distinct honor to welcome the First Lady of the United States to speak to you. She too is a woman of tremendous courage and of great accomplishment. She's an inspirational leader through her Be Best initiative and her work now advocating the Take It Down Act, she's protected women and girls online and promoted their health and well-being. So, Madam First Lady, thank you so much for being with us today. I look forward to continuing to work with you to promote the well-being and prosperity of Americans. So, ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome, it's a great honor to welcome the First Lady of the United States, Melania Trump.
Thank you. Please sit down, please. Thank you. Good afternoon, and thank you, Secretary Rubio. Throughout my life, I have harnessed the power of love as a source of strength during challenging times. Love has inspired me to embrace forgiveness, nurture empathy, and exhibit bravery in the face of unforeseen obstacles. Today, we celebrate courage, a strength that is based in love. This truth is illustrated through our honorees, who prove that love can inspire extraordinary valor, even in the face of vulnerability. Their remarkable stories, a testament to the power of love in practice for family, community, and our world. This is especially evident in places where their passion defies convention and where it has been shown at great personal risk of stigma, persecution, or harm. The courageous Georgiana Pescu, one of our award recipients, exemplifies love in action. Georgiana is a watchdog who defends the dignity of Romanians whose voices cannot be heard. She fearlessly enters facilities designated as care centers to rescue people with disabilities who are unwittingly held captive. In fact, Georgiana usually shows up unannounced and discovers the unimaginable. Helpless adults and children bound, sedated, starving, and in extreme cases dying. Thanks to Georgiana's brave work, dozens of offenders have been charged with human trafficking, exploitation, and even organized crime. We are honored to join an exceptional assembly of brave women who have shown their love and refuse to let fear or hardship define them. Their collective achievements and dedication move us all. Let us also take a moment to acknowledge those who persist in their struggles. For each of them, love serves as a powerful catalyst, instilling in a profound sense of purpose in their endeavors. To the women who are driven to speak out for justice, even though their voices are trembling. To the women who are motivated to rise up for their community when others remain indifferent. To the women who feel compelled to heal wounds caused by hatred and cherish peace. The 2025 International Women of Courage Award recipients came from diverse backgrounds and regions. Yet, love transcends boundaries and territories. It is a universal language. Their courage propels us of humanity forward by advocating to end violence against women and girls, promoting democratic governance, defending human rights, championing education, and fighting injustice. Through their efforts, they instigate progress for all of humanity. These extraordinary women illuminate the transformative power of love in shaping our world. Their journeys remind us that true courage is born from a deep commitment to others, showing that love fuels the call for justice. Through their brave actions, They inspire us to embrace our own potential for change, teaching us that while courage drives us forward, it is love that lays the groundwork for lasting impact. Let their stories motivate us to take courageous steps, knowing that each act of love can spark a ripple of transformation. Thank you, and thank you for being here today.
Thank you. Beautiful remarks, weren't they? Just lovely. Thank you, everyone. I'm Tammy Bruce. I'm the spokesperson for the U.S. State Department. You guys are also great. Great looking room here. And it's an honor and a pleasure to be here with all of you. So good afternoon, Madam First Lady, Secretary Rubio, Mrs. Rubio, and distinguished guests. Today we celebrate the extraordinary achievements of 8 women from across the globe who have demonstrated unparalleled courage, resilience, and leadership in the face of adversity. These remarkable individuals have shown us that courage knows no boundaries and that the strength...
Alrighty, guys, that was Melania Trump. That was Melania Trump offering words at the International Women of Courage Award. I'm sure that will get absolutely no media coverage whatsoever. So that's why we bring it here to you guys. That's why we bring it here, because let's be honest, the media is not going to cover that whatsoever. Once again, guys, my name is Kevin Smith. Thank you all so much for tuning in to Loud Majority Live on this April 1st. Happy April Fool's Day. I hope you guys, hope nobody played a practical joke on you just yet, but I'm a big fan of them. So I won't be upset if they do. Guys, hit that thumbs up button. This show is brought to you by Old Glory Bank.
What do a neurosurgeon, a country artist, and a television and radio host have in common? They all saw the writing on the wall. Big banks sharing your financial information with big government. Join them as owners in Old Glory Bank, the pro-America online bank that protects your privacy, security, and liberty. Invest today at own.oldglorybank.com.
Guys, head on over to own.oldglorybank.com. That's own.oldglorybank.com. I want to say hello to the live chat real quick. Obviously, I got to make sure I say my shout-outs. That would be Conservative Autumn, obviously, like I never forget about you. Shout out to everybody watching Kevin for the first time. It's a good time over here on the all-day stream. Here at rumble.com/LFATV. So we're going to dive into some of the stuff that happened over the course of the last several days. One thing that didn't get a lot of coverage. One big thing that didn't get a lot of coverage that happened yesterday, which I found incredibly interesting, was the executive order signed by President Trump about ticket scalping. Now, for those of you who have been to a sporting event in the last, 100 years, there have always been scalpers. There's always been scalpers. But obviously, this is a little different. Obviously, what's happening now is a little bit different. Why does this matter? Well, this is one of those things that the president is going to do. This is one of the things that this administration is going to tackle. That it's not going to change the world on its face. However, I'm sure a lot of you, I'm one of them, remember a time, the whole family getting together, going to a baseball game, or you and your friends all get together to go, to the Met game or whatever team it is you listen to or you're a fan of. Or everybody, you're 16, 17 years old, you go to a concert of your favorite musician. Those days seem to be long gone. And a lot of that has to do with the advancements in third-party ticket sellers. Now, look, as I said, this is something that it's not going to change the world. It's not going to bring about world peace. We'll get to the issue with that later on, as Germany is getting a bit odd. But this is something that affects regular people on a regular level. I want to tell you a little story about somebody you probably hate. Taylor Swift, okay? I have a family member who's a huge Taylor Swift fan, for whatever reason. And last year, she went to Switzerland to see Taylor Swift. And I thought to myself, that is ridiculous. That is complete insanity. Why would you go all the way to Europe to see a musician you wanted to see, just see them here in the States? And what she was telling me was that it's actually cheaper to go see some of these people in Europe than it is to see them here. And I thought, that's ridiculous. Hotels, flights, the whole 9 yards. Why is that happening? Well, it turns out Europe has actually put a 15% markup cap on third-party ticket sellers. Now, I'm a free market capitalist, and I believe in making as much money as you possibly can. However, for any person that has ever tried to buy tickets through Ticketmaster, StubHub, SeatGeek, any of these things, you know the ticket prices are absolutely outrageous. And for a lot of musicians, even the ones we don't like, Taylor Swift, Bruce Springsteen, people like that, they've all said it's not them. They're selling their tickets for moderate prices. Joe Spag, I'm going to get to that. Joe Spag, I'm going to get to what you just said because that's important. What you're saying is important. But the days of teenagers going to see a concert, sleeping outside the box office, waiting for them to go on sale to get the best seats, those days are over. Nobody does that anymore. And why? It's because of many of these third-party sites. Well, yesterday, President Trump signed an executive order with Kid Rock in the Oval Office looking a little ridiculous. Let's not pretend this outfit was normal. In fact, Peter Doocy said that he looked like he was about to be shot out of a cannon. But here was the executive order explained.
Of course, sir. So this is an executive order, as you said, that deals with the ticket reselling business. For fans of live entertainment and for entertainers as well, the ticket reselling industry has become a huge issue. These people use bots and computer algorithms to buy up huge blocks of tickets and then jack up the price so that fans of live entertainers like Mr. Ritchie, I almost called him Mr. Rock, don't have access to concerts the way that they should. And when they do, it's at exorbitantly high prices. So what this executive order does, it charges the FTC and the Department of Justice with rigorously enforcing laws on the books in collaboration with state attorneys general that have power over consumer protection and other people who have the power to really crack down on this issue so that entertainers and fans won't be subject to these abusive and oftentimes illegal practices.
Good. Thank you very much.
Now, Kid Rock's outfit notwithstanding, because look, like Kid Rock, don't get me wrong, that outfit's ridiculous. I don't know where he bought that, but whoever made that should stop making it. That's insane. And look, to what Joe Spags was saying, I want to make sure I differentiate this. There is a huge difference between some guy outside of a venue, outside of Madison Square Garden, outside of Yankee Stadium, trying to sell tickets that he's got on the street. You're right, that's an American pastime. There's a big difference between someone doing that and setting up a bot farm to buy up all the floor seats to whatever it may be, whether it's the first row of a football game, whether it's floor seats to Billy Joel at the Garden, whatever the hell musician or venue you want to see. There's a big difference between some guy who hasn't shaved in a week out there trying to hustle tickets. That's a hustle. I got no problem with that. I'll stand up for that all day. Even though it's illegal, I would never say that. Obviously, I would never promote illegal activity. However, that is an American institution. There is a big difference between that and setting up a bot farm, buying up 2,000 tickets, quadrupling the price on them, and then just seeing which ones sell. That is artificially monopolizing ticket sales. And here's how Kid Rock describes it.
Bob, do you want to say something?
Yeah, anybody it doesn't matter your politics. First off, thank you, Mr. President, because this has happened at lightning speed. I know you I want to make sure Alina Habba gets her credit too, because I know she worked very hard on this, but thank you for making this happen so quick. Anyone who's bought a concert ticket in the last decade, maybe 20 years, no matter what your politics are, knows it is a conundrum. You buy a ticket for $100, by the time you check out, it's $170. You don't know what you can charge for, but more importantly, these bots. You know, they come in to get all the good tickets to your favorite shows you want to go to, and then they're relisted immediately for sometimes a 400% or 500% markup. And the artists don't see any of that money. And, you know, ultimately, I think this is a great first step. I would love down the road if there would be some legislation that we could actually put a cap on the resale of tickets. And I'm a capitalist and a deregulation guy, but they've tried this in some places in Europe, and it seems to be the only thing that's us as artists be able to get the tickets into the hands of the fans at the prices we set. I'll be the first one to say, and I know the president doesn't like when I say this, but I'm a little overpaid right now. It's kind of ridiculous. I would rather be, you know, a hero to the working class people and have them be able to come attend my shows and give them a fair ticket price. And I can't control that right now. So hopefully this is a step to really be able to make that happen.
And you know what? This is one of those times I want to be very clear. I want to be very clear. Sometimes in politics, your principles go against what should be done. Make as much money as you want, have a good time. But there's a big difference between that fat guy standing outside of Yankee Stadium selling tickets on the street and a bot farm in Bangladesh buying up all the tickets, reselling them back to Americans for exorbitant prices. There's a big difference between that. So I'm very happy that this sort of thing went in. I'm very happy that this is something that is something that people are looking into. More than that, more than just the capping of the markup on some of these tickets, the idea of junk fees. You go on Ticketmaster, like Kid Rock said, you buy a ticket for $100. By the time you're done, you're at $175, and nobody knows why. I don't know what the hell, and this is any context, I don't know what the hell a processing fee is. Okay? You didn't even do anything. I did the processing. It's just a way for corporate third-party entities to be able to shave a couple dollars every time you do something. And we are being feed to death in America. Feed to death. Not feed, not fed to death. Feed to death. Junk fees are the bane of the prices of everything in America. So much so that I want to be so much so that I want to be clear. Here is Bill Maher 7 years ago. 7 years ago, talking about this. You guys know I use Bill a lot, but this is something that Americans have been talking about for quite some time, and nothing has been done about it. Oh, hold on, give me 1 sec.
New rule, fuck fees. When did the American business model switch from honestly selling you a product to tricking the consumer who doesn't read the fine print? Late fees, rebooking fees, restocking fees, roaming fees, overdraft fees, cancellation fees. Fees because you forgot to say Simon Says. My credit card has a maintenance fee. For what? It's a piece of plastic in my wallet. So like someone from Citibank comes by once a month to water it. You ever wonder, why is my cell phone contract longer than a Stephen King novel? Because it was written by Rumpelstiltskin. If you forget to turn off data roaming and you go to Vancouver for the weekend, Verizon gets to keep your children. This is the new way we do business, and it's all based on the cynical premise of you fucking up. that they can wear you down, confuse you, or count on you to forget. Take something as simple as gift cards. They look like an easy and convenient way to say, I wanted to buy you something, but I just barely give a shit. But almost a third of the people who received gift cards never used them. It's a bet between you and Red Lobster that even when it's free, you still don't want to eat Red Lobster.
And that goes on for a few more minutes, but we've become a fee-based economy. And that's what makes things so expensive. Seriously, next time you go to check out for something, look at the fees involved. And I'm happy that the President of the United States is at least beginning to address this, as far as I'm concerned, scourge on the American people. We got more news to get to in just 1 second. Before we do that, guys, Mike Lindell.
I'm excited to announce that we're having our first ever mega sale on overstock clearance and brand new products. For example, save over 50% on this season's flannel sheets. Queen size only $59.98. Kings only $69.98. They sell out fast every year, so order now. Save 20% on our brand new My Crosses. They're designed in the likeness of the one I've worn every day for over 20 years. They come in men's and women's, and they're made right here in the USA. Get our 2025 six-piece My Towel sets for only $29.98. Our initial quantities are extremely low, so get them now before they go. And our best-selling standard My Pillows, just $14.98. So go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use this promo code to take advantage of our first ever mega sale. But wait, remember that $75 free shipping rule? Well, that ship is sailed because right now, every order ships absolutely free.
Guys, head on over to MyPillow.com, promo code LOUD. That's MyPillow.com, promo code LOUD for up to 80% off everything on the website. That's MyPillow.com, promo code LOUD. Yes, everyone knows lodging fees, overdraft fees, early fees. I don't know what the hell an early fee is. The activation fee and the deactivation fee. Those are my favorite. The fee to use the thing you just bought. And the fee to stop using the thing you just bought. We get rid of that. Hell, we could fix the economy right away. What the F you gonna do about it, fee? You got that right, D-Critter. You got that right. Additional overcharge. That's all it is. And don't even look. For my New Yorkers and my people in New Jersey here, okay? Don't even get me started on tolls, okay? Don't even get me started on tolls. I think we paid for the Verrazano Bridge long ago. But those are the ways in which we could actually save the American taxpayer some real money. Those are the ways we can do it. Another way we can save the American taxpayer a large amount of money is to continue to deport illegal immigrant criminals from this country. Now, listening to the Democrats over the course of the last several weeks, you would think Donald Trump is scooping up anybody darker than Italian and just shipping them off to an El Salvadorian jail. But of course, that's not what's happening. As a matter of fact, Donald Trump just sent 17 more illegal immigrant criminals to the El Salvadorian prison. This time they did it under the Title VIII of immigration law, so it could not be blocked by the courts under the Alien Enemies Act. This from the Post-Millennial. 17 illegal immigrants have been deported to the El Salvadorian prison under Title VIII. Secretary of State Marco Rubio wrote early Monday morning that last night, quote, in a successful counterterrorism operation with our allies in El Salvador, the United States military transferred a group of 17 violent criminals from Tren de Aragua and MS-13 organizations, including murderers and rapists. In order to keep the American people safe, POTUS designated Tren de Aragua, and MS-13 as foreign terrorist organizations. These criminals will no longer terrorize our communities. Now, we've seen the multiple attempts by many members of the court to continue to continue to, how would you say it, show the 1%, we'll say, but the 1 out of every 100 screw up when it comes to this. Now, I want to be clear. Every person they have deported is an illegal immigrant, by definition committing crimes in the United States. But let's put that aside for a moment. Watch Carolyn Levitt take apart a White House reporter who isn't so upset that illegal immigrants have been able to run roughshod over the United States. However, more upset about a clerical error, about the misfiling of paperwork of one person they have deported from the United States.
The error that you are referring to was a clerical error. It was an administrative error. The administration maintains the position that this individual who was deported to El Salvador and will not be returning to our country was a member of the brutal and vicious MS-13 gang. That is fact number one. Fact number two, we also have credible intelligence proving that this individual was involved in human trafficking. And fact number three, this individual was a member, actually a leader of the brutal MS-13 gang, which this president has designated as a foreign terrorist organization. Fact number four is that foreign terrorists do not have legal protections in the United States of America anymore. And it is within the president's executive authority and power to deport these heinous individuals from American communities. It is a promise he campaigned on. It is a promise he is keeping. And every single person in this room should be grateful for that, considering especially MS-13 is very prevalent and prominent here in the District of Columbia, in Maryland, and in Virginia. And the president, the attorney general, everyone who has been involved in these operations is focused on eradicating these criminals and terrorists from our communities.
The vice president said he was a convicted member of MS-13. What evidence is there to back that up?
There's a lot of evidence, and the Department of Homeland Security and ICE have that evidence, and I saw it this morning.
I mean, imagine if Democrats were as upset at what led these illegal immigrants to get into the country in the first place as they are about them being removed. You see, you know what's a really good way to not get deported to an El Salvadorian jail? Don't break into a country. Stands to reason that, this is not so much the cause as it is the effect. You understand what I'm saying here? So let's say you're from Guatemala and you would like to not go to an El Salvadorian prison. Don't violate the laws of the United States and we won't send you there. This does not seem like a complicated idea. But for some people in the press, some people in the media, like Abby Phillips over on CNN, she just couldn't wrap her brain around this. And, as usual, it led to another clip of Scott Jennings being the king of CNN. Being the out-and-out king of CNN. At this point, CNN only exists to make Scott Jennings look good.
Isn't this exactly what we denounce other countries for doing? Not giving our own citizens, when they get wrongfully detained around the world, our own citizens the due process that they deserve?
Well, I think multiple things could be true. Number one, I delineate between American citizens and everyone else. If you're a U.S. citizen, I put you in a different category.
On due process, that's not a distinction that the law makes,
Then if you've come here and broken our laws and committed violent acts or murdered and raped and whatever, I put you in a different category.
When it comes to the law and due process, that is not a distinction.
Well, if you'd like to argue that Trinidad or Aragua should have the same rights and that you get as an American citizen, go ahead.
Here's the argument.
Change the Constitution.
Hold on a second.
The
argument
so
is
you're saying that a terrorist can walk across the border and become effectively a U.S. citizen?
That's not what I'm saying.
Hold on. Scott, look at me. Okay.
Yeah, let's give the host
you and I are talking. You and I are talking.
Respect.
Okay.
What
I'm saying to you is that the law does not make a distinction between U.S. citizens and everybody else when it comes to being accused of crimes. Are you saying that should not be in place? That if you happen to not be a citizen, you get to be thrown into a jail with no process at all?
I'm saying that these people are effectively terrorists. They walked across our borders illegally.
Okay.
They are violent, and I don't really want them here.
But doesn't the government have to prove that they are who they say they are?
Correct.
That's
all we're saying. That's all.
I mean,
you can say it.
Eventually,
it's not a concession that you like Tren de Aragua. It's just a question of the basics of civics in this country.
I think eventually the government will have to show all of its cards on everybody that they have detained, deported, or done anything to in this arena. But there is no doubt that the Trump administration is rounding up effectively terrorists who came across here illegally, committed horrific acts, and do not need to be in this country.
They are doing that, perhaps, but they're also doing a lot of other things, too. And that's why the courts are asking questions about it.
You know, why do I show this? Why do I? Now, we know that Scott Jennings is the king of CNN. I know that. You know that. We all know that. I show it because at a 27% approval rating, you would think that Democrats might get a clue that the American people want illegal immigrants removed from this country. I don't know why they don't grasp this. What about this seems to be confusing to all of them? Maybe that's why, I don't know, nobody believes in Democrats anymore. Maybe that's why they continue to drop further and further and further in the polls. As a matter of fact, the only thing that has a lower approval rating right now than Democrats is the new Snow White movie, which I gotta say is actually pretty impressive. It's actually pretty impressive when you see Democrats continuing to flounder, because Americans of all stripes do not want this. They do not want their cities to be overrun by hordes of illegal immigrants, but Democrats simply cannot wrap their brains around it. And until they decide to change, they're going to be in for a rude awakening. And all I can say is good. Good. Democrats, you want to lose every election until the end of time? Keep coming out in support of people who broke our laws to get into the country. Keep putting Jasmine Crockett out in front of your party. Keep letting Cory Booker, who for some reason is on, like, he's been speaking. Is he still going, actually? Let me look. Cory Booker, old Senator Spartacus himself, has been speaking on the floor of the Senate, and I genuinely mean this. This is not like some kind of a euphemism. Cory Booker has been speaking on the floor of the Senate for like 19 hours now. He hasn't stopped talking in what some would describe as the old filibuster tactic. Old Senator Spartacus has been talking for 19 consecutive hours. Which, look, I don't like Cory Booker. I don't like him on a plane, and I don't like him on a train. But, look, to stand up and speak nonstop for 19 hours, it's pretty damn impressive. Currently, he's out there filibustering, which is a parliamentary tactic in order to delay proceedings so that a vote cannot be taken. Many will remember when Ted Cruz did this. I believe it was in 2012 during the Tea Party wave. He spoke for like 24 consecutive hours. At one point, I think he read Green Eggs and Ham by Dr. Seuss. I think another point in time, he read the entirety of the first part of Atlas Shrugged by Ayn Rand, which, do I have that book here? Yeah. For anybody who wants to know, that book's like 1,400 pages long, and Ted Cruz read the entire thing. I don't know why I just happen to have that one behind me. Cory Booker is still talking. I'm curious to see when he's actually going to stop. He's doing it to protest cuts to Social Security and Medicaid that aren't coming because Democrats can't run on the things that are actually happening because it turns out they're incredibly popular. They're incredibly popular. Democrats have absolutely nothing, which is why they are resorting to setting things ablaze. They are resorting to setting things on fire because that's what Democrats do. That's what Democrats do. Guys, do me a favor. Oh, no. So here is, before we get to the next one, Democrats did want to kill the filibuster. I'm going to answer some questions here. I'm gonna answer some questions here about the filibuster because, yes, Democrats wanted to get rid of the procedural filibuster, which means 60 votes to call cloture to end debate on an issue. This is different. This comes before the 60-vote threshold. What this does is it basically stops the filibuster vote from happening. Okay? Now, he can go to the bathroom. He can sit down because there are procedural ways. So what's been happening over the course of the... I'm kind of a geek, so I find this stuff really interesting. The way he's able to go to the bathroom, the way he's able to take a break, the way he's able to stop for a moment is by... Is it happening right now? People will then ask him questions. So what Senator Chris Murphy and some of the other senators have been doing is asking Cory Booker questions that take 15 minutes so that he can stop and get a drink and go to the bathroom and do the things that need to be done. I find this stuff fascinating. Now, maybe I'm alone here. You know what? If Cory Booker is still going tomorrow, I will read you guys the filibuster procedures because this is just, I'm a geek and I find this kind of stuff absolutely fascinating. But Democrats have to do this. Democrats have to run on the Social Security Medicare issue. Bad Mood, I like this. Only Kevin knows this information. Yes, because I'm an absolute dork. Actually, the West Wing did a whole episode about the filibuster. For those of you who watched The West Wing, you might remember it. Guys, we're going to move on because there is other stuff that I want to make sure that I get to by the end of the day. Plus, I could talk Senate parliamentary procedure geek. I am your resident nerd. Before we get to that, guys, head on over to lfatv.us. That's lfatv.us. That's your home base, your mothership, your landing pad for all things LFA TV related. Check out the LFA TV store. While you guys are there, consider becoming monthly donors. Over at lfatv.us, you can get all this good stuff here. Look at that. Boom. All the past previous shows. There's that good-looking guy right there. I got to get a new photo up there, by the way. I got to get that new photo up there. We've got news. We've got news aggregation. We've got a whole bunch of other good stuff up there, guys. And while you guys are there, boom, click that donate button. We really do appreciate all the support. Oh, click that donate button. Got to make that a little smaller. Click the donate button. We really do appreciate the support over here at lfatv.us. That's lfatv.us. So we'll get to that in a second. Boom, boom, boom. Here's what I wanted to get to. Pam Bondi. Pam Bondi, who I know many of you are upset about the Epstein list, and I am just as mad as you are. However, just because I'm mad at her about one thing doesn't mean I can't be happy with her about another. And it turns out she's coming out of the gate strong with what she is looking for many of the people who commit acts of terrorism in this country. And of course, there are two specific things that have been happening that would be designated acts of terror. Because terrorism, as definitionally defined, you can't say that, as defined, is violence carried out with a political means. Politics carried out through violence. And that is why Pam Bondi is seeking the death penalty for the United Healthcare CEO shooter, Luigi Mangione. On Tuesday, Pam Bondi released a statement saying that the U.S. Department of Justice will seek the death penalty for the United Healthcare CEO assassin, Luigi Mangione. Good. Hang him high. Maybe that'll stop people from shooting random people in the back for no reason. Because nothing says bravery. Nothing says strength and resolve. Nothing says any of that like shooting a man in the back while it's dark outside. you're a gigantic coward. Also, Pam Bondi has decided to seek federal terrorism charges for the people who are setting Teslas on fire.
I've made it clear, if you take part in the wave of domestic terrorism against Tesla properties, we will find you, arrest you, and put you behind bars. Today, I'm proud to announce that the Department of Justice has unsealed federal charges against another Tesla attacker. We've charged Cooper Frederick in the firebombing of a Tesla dealership that occurred on March 7th in Loveland, Colorado. All of these cases are a serious threat to public safety. Therefore, there will be no negotiating. We are seeking 20 years in prison. The crime was committed in Colorado, and thanks to the great investigative work by the FBI, the defendant was arrested in Plano, Texas. Let this be a warning. You can run, but you cannot hide. Justice is coming.
You know what? And I got to be honest with you. I'm happy that she says no deal will be met. No compromise will be found. Because there is nothing more annoying than when, and DAs, U.S. attorneys, they do this all the time. They have somebody dead to rights on a crime they know they committed. And because they don't want to bog down the legal system, because lawyers are lazy and don't actually want to go to trial, they end up pleading down some murder charge that should get 20 to life, 25 to life. They end up pleading it down to manslaughter, 8 to 10, good behavior, they're out in 5.5. If you've ever watched the ID channel, and I know you do, I know you watch the ID channel, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. You find out some guy, robbed a house and set it on fire with the people inside of it. They catch them dead to rights. Then they plead it down to something ridiculous, and they're out in 20 years. No. You want to be a tough guy. You want to vandalize property. You want to set things on fire. You're going to go to jail. And if you guys have been noticing what some of these Tesla vandals look like, you know this is going to be a very painful, very stressful, very, some might say unpleasant 20 years in prison. I'll let the chat decide for themselves exactly what I mean by that. Exactly what I mean by that. As a matter of fact, one of the people who decided to key and vandalize one of those Tesla vehicles was caught by the Tesla owner. And when pressed on the issue, he basically curled up like a little boy, like a small little boy who just got caught stealing. Check this out.
Free service.
Free service? How about you pay for the repairs? Write a check. You just bought a Tesla.
I can wipe it off with a towel.
No.
It's not a key.
It is a hate crime, sir. It is a hate crime. Did you write a swastika on there?
I'm sorry you're upset.
Did you write a swastika?
It didn't even work. Apparently it doesn't work.
Did you write a swastika on the... It's a key, sir. We see it on the video.
It's not a key.
Is it a swastika?
I was probably putting my keys in my pocket.
Is it a swastika?
Have you looked at your car? Is there a key mark?
Yes. Is it a swastika?
That's impossible.
It's at the police right now. It's being fingerprinted.
What do you mean it's being fingerprinted?
Because they're trying to track you down. Thankfully, Facebook tracked you down. So your business, your freaking livelihood, everything now.
Listen,
because you chose to write so to tell Facebook that you're sorry for writing a swastika on a Tesla.
Listen, I said I'm sorry.
For what?
And I apologize.
For what?
I have nothing against your car, and I have nothing against you.
So why would you write a swastika on a Tesla?
Obviously, I have something against Elon Musk, but that's not the
so
way
Elon
to
Musk
show my...
owns that car because
No,
it was
he
bought
owns
and
the
paid
company.
for. It was bought and paid for a long time
That's
ago.
why it's misguided, and obviously, I did not intend to do this.
All right,
sir.
we're gonna wait for the.
Don't drop the soap, player. Don't you love when you... I love seeing people get called out. Like, I love people who think they're tough. First off, I want to be clear. Keying a car, that doesn't make you brave. smearing things all over a Tesla doesn't make you brave. As a matter of fact, here's another thing that's probably not going to work. And I'm just going to roll the dice on this one. It turns out when you're standing outside in front of your Tesla dealership and you're very upset at what Elon Musk is up to, a good way to get his attention is not by doing the electric slide in front of the dealership. On yesterday's show, we showed you some idiot standing outside of a Tesla dealership in a giant blue Tyrannosaurus Rex costume. Now, we've got people doing the electric slide in the middle of the street. It's hard to believe I'm not going to take you people seriously. It's hard to believe I'm not taking you idiots seriously while this is happening. Imagine, you ready? Hold on. Imagine this woman, right? She decides she's going to carry a swastika in front of a Tesla dealership. And next thing you know, she's leading the electric slide like she's at her niece's wedding. It's hard for me to take you seriously when you don't take yourself seriously. Guys, it is just about 2 o'clock. I want to thank everybody so much for tuning in, sticking around all day. Once again, my name is Kevin Smith. We will be back live tomorrow at 1 p.m. We'll be back live tomorrow at 1 p.m. Before we get to that, before we hand it over to Will Johnson, guys, head on over to loudmajorityusa.com. That's loudmajorityusa.com. Sign up for the newsletter. Check out our shop. We've got a massive sale going on over there. You guys are going to want to check all this out. We got these little Easter bunnies. We got the DARE t-shirts. I'm sure all of you had to sit through that DARE program when you were in school. I know I certainly did. And of course, I paid attention to every single thing that they said. Guys, so much good stuff, so much stuff on here. Getting ready for spring, getting ready for summer. We got shorts, leggings, joggers. You can get the Loud Kofifi, the amazing blended coffee. Guys, check that out. Become part of the coffee club today. Will Johnson is coming up next right here on this show. He should be starting any minute now. Guys, once again, I'm sorry. What the hell did I do here? Left the damn thing up there. Sorry about that. Guys, Will Johnson is going to be coming up in just 1 minute. Oh, sorry, I screwed up. Yes. Sorry, Welsh. We were all good students. Everyone, oh, yes. More importantly, Wisconsin, Florida, go vote. Go out and vote right now. Do you live in the state of Wisconsin? Do you have a cousin that lives in the state of Wisconsin? Are you in Florida 1? Are you in Florida 6? Get out. Go vote. Do it right now. Let's win this bad boy. I'll catch you guys back live tomorrow. Until then, stay loud.